A lot of it comes because we can't see anymore to do any knitting or crocheting, but we know some of you do have good eyes yet and can and do enjoy knitting and crocheting or sewing. So we're offering free fabric, free yarn for anybody. Just come upstairs and you can have fun joining us or just do it on your own. And if you make something, either for yourself or you could bring it back up to the store to sell. So just want to let you know that it's not just for a small group, it's for everybody. Everybody can come up and see what we have to offer and join in, have fun. We still have some wreaths, beautiful wreaths for sale. Another thing that we are offering is alterations. We found someone outside of the LSS residence here that we can refer you to if you have some major donation alterations. So we can give you that names, that phone number, and the person to get in touch with. So stop by, either call Mary Fisher, or myself. We'll get that information to you. We still have bowl cozies and lots of new things coming in all the time. So it's Thursdays and Fridays from 2 to 4. And we appreciate Jan Garvin if she's here. She helps us out. Yeah, she's like our cashier, doing a great job. So, okay, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, 2 to 4. So, thank you.
Hank, anything today for the Veterans Club?
It's all published.
Okay, nothing new to mention. Anything from the welcoming committee?
No.
Or, Clark?
Nobody's moved in.
Workshop, Ron, anything? And library, anybody have anything? All right. I think that means I'm up. So I'm going to go ahead and start my part. Oh, Beth, did you have something? Oh, okay.
7 in for Bob.
I'll go ahead and start my part, and if Bob Shelton comes in, then I'll go ahead and... Oh, here he is. Okay. Let's back up a little bit. So welcome to the stage, Bob Shelton, the administrator, the city administrator for Town and Country. Welcome, Bob.
I appreciate it. I'll be brief. I believe I've spoken to many of you before, and I think Alderman Sue Allen just probably went out that door looking for me. I was supposed to be here a little bit earlier. I do apologize. For those of you who received the city's Notify Me newsletter, you would have received this early last week, maybe mid last week. And the mayor spoke in this article, and we provided some additional information that I'll show here about a ballot initiative that is on in April, and that's called the use tax. And State Representative Dean Plocker spoke about this to some of you before, as did I. Alderman Allen, who chairs our Ways and Means Commission, they voted unanimously to put this on the ballot, as did our Board of Aldermen. So what this means is if you purchase an item online, the local town and country sales tax, at least a portion of it, would apply to those purchases, similar to if you purchased in the store. Currently, if you purchase online, or if a business purchases online, then the city does not receive any sales tax. Under state law, we used to receive it, and they changed the law, thanks to our representatives, and now it has to go to a vote of the people. This ward did support it when we had it on previously, and we appreciate that very much. If it's approved, it would be 1.25%, the town and country rate. If you buy online, you already pay the state amount, which is approximately 4%. We just don't get the town and country amount. Currently, St. Louis County, their sales tax, which is about 3.5%, they don't have the use tax. So an online purchase, still you pay less in tax, but that 1.25% to town and country on a $100 purchase $1.25. And again, that helps fund police, fire, all of your EMS services, all of our city services. So as probably everybody knows, purchases online have become more prevalent. Everybody gets things delivered now, especially a lot of our working families. And so we'd appreciate support. If you have any questions, I'll leave a stack of these. And if you don't receive this via our email, I have a sign up maybe that I could leave with Alderman Allen, and just all it needs is your email address, and we'll get you signed up. And we don't bombard anybody with a lot of stuff, just current events and some happenings in the city. So, are there any questions for me before I turn it back over to Drew? Mike, you normally have a plug or something. Come on. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah.
What is the alternate? Assuming that this is defeated, how would Talbot Country derive other revenue to pay for your committed expenses?
I think Mike was supposed to ask that question, but thank you very much. So, no, the city has no property tax. We don't levy any property tax. The board does have the authority to do that. So, even with this, there probably will need to be a property tax, and the mayor speaks to this would help not have to have that property tax as high. So that's a great question. The city does not have any property tax. We fund all the police, all the fire and EMS out of the general fund revenue, which the majority of that is from sales tax, the purchases in stores. So good question. All right, Drew, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. If there are any questions, and yes, thank you, Bob.
So a couple other announcements that I forgot to mention earlier. The first one, we have absentee ballots down,
Yes.
sitting down at the table outside of the mail slots. And Denise Disper, you had an announcement I think you wanted to make too, and I skipped you.
Basically, I guess I better learn to use a microphone, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I have two things that I'd like to go over today. The first one is, again, as I did last month, I thanked the staff for the wonderful help at a resident-run party, I think is the phrase we use. And the resident-run party, again, we had tremendous help in decorations and in for the Super Bowl party. We also had a great deal of help from the livestock. They put more tables up and chairs up and help with decorations. And then there's the star that Lou Jones spoke of earlier, Madison. I don't know what we would do without Madison. Madison put the tablecloths on all the tables and then was very talented in her decorations of napkins and making every table the colors of the Eagles or the Chiefs, and added some more decorations that Beth and the livestock gave to us. And then, of course, we have to thank all the residents. We had between 50 and 60 people there, and all the residents bought great goodies and appetizers. And then the staff provided all the paperware, the plasticware, the ice and water and all that. And then, of course, the very last group we have to thank is all the residents that stayed to the end and helped clean up. So I thought it was a very big success, and I want to thank everybody involved for making it that way. The next point I want to talk about is on your yellow sheet, you will see on the 23rd, which is a Thursday night, a trip to Missouri Baptist to see the play. It's not actually a play. The name of the production is called the New York Musical Theater and Fine Arts Showcase. And what this is a showcase that they put together. They're going to take it to New York and compete nationally with it. They're offering it 3 days over at Missouri Baptist, so it will be a combination of musical, theater, and dance. Suzanne had offered us a bus for the first 20 people to go both ways across the street, which was very nice. The tickets are $10 a person, and the tickets can be purchased by calling the number. Now, this is the program, it's in the red book downstairs. On the back side of it is the number. However, we're talking about perhaps putting a thing in your mailbox that will have that number on it. You call that number. The lady we have dealt with is named Tia Wright. She has reserved 20 seats for us together. So when you call this number, she also works as a youth director at a church someplace, I think in Kirkwood or Webster, something like that. Anyway, she's a part-timer, so you leave the number when you call, and then you leave your number and tell her you're from Mason Point, give her your name, and she'll call you back within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you can purchase your ticket via the charge card, and you may pick it up when you get there on the bus. So they don't have to run across the street to get a ticket. It's very easy to do. So if there's any questions about that, you can always call me. And I think that you can sign up for the 20 seats on the bus today. However, since there's a conflict between a program here and this trip, there may be a change of date on one or the other, but it's in the process now. So you will be notified that in a brochure at a later time, relatively soon, we hope. Any questions?
Denise, would you clarify to Missouri Baptist University, not hospital?
Oh, did I say hospital?
No, you didn't say either one.
You didn't say either
You
one.
said Missouri Baptist.
Okay, Missouri Baptist University, which is right across the street. So, anybody have any, is that all right? Anybody have any other questions? This should really be a great production because it's put together to compete nationally. So if we can, and if you want to drive, you can let me know because she could perhaps reserve more tickets beyond that if the bus fails. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise. I wasn't trying to shut you down with the lights going off like that. I was just preparing for when I was coming up here. So anybody have anything else before we get into my part of today? All right. Oh, Mr. Seiler? Tables. In the pub?
In the pub.
Yep. So we are questions around tables in the pub. Well, it wasn't really a question. That was more of a statement. But I know what you're saying. We are looking at maybe temporarily pulling in some tables out of 40 West over to the pub since the pub's been more crowded. We're looking at some different arrangements. I would anticipate that happening this week, and then purchasing to backfill the tables that we move. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to talk about the planning and zoning results. Did you guys know we had that meeting last week? Did you mark your calendars with it? Anybody drive around campus up Clayton Road? You see all the fans we have around here? So, hey, I'm gonna, just to recap the planning and zoning meeting. So we had that on February 15th. It was a public forum. We had anywhere from 30 to 45 people that showed up, probably 15 to 20 spoke in opposition of the project. It went for about 3 hours. And so I'll just tell you from our perspective, I've mentioned before, you guys know that we've had a series of meetings with our neighbors ahead of planning and zoning, and so we didn't really hear anything different than we anticipated hearing, and so I wanted to share after presenting the facts of the case, they voted in favor of our project 6-1. So planning and zoning gave us the approval. How this works now is it goes to the Architecture Review Board, which will occur sometime, I think, late in March, and then we'll have a series of 2 meetings in April. The first one will be another public forum where folks can come and speak in either opposition or in support of the project, and there will be a vote by our aldermen in the second meeting in April. So that's where the project stands now. So I don't know if you can see this, you probably can't read this, but this sign here says, "To whoever called the police on my lawn, instead of talking to me like a good neighbor, it's your move." I'm gonna have to quit doing these jokes. somebody, okay, I'm gonna explain it, at least how I understood it. They let their yard get out of control, so they put this sign up, and then they put a bunch of flamingos in the yard just to annoy their neighbors even more. And I'm making light of the situation that the neighbors are in opposition of our project. Our neighbors are good people, and they have, it's understandable, they want to protect their property values, and this has been a respectful process, I would say, back and forth. Now, there's a disagreement. I know we don't see things the same way. As residents, though, I think it's important for you guys to have the facts, because many of you probably know neighbors, you have ongoing dialogue with them, you drive around, you see signs that says stop Mason Point, like we're doing something that's terrible. We want to make sure we arm you guys with the facts, because there is also a website. They put together a website that speaks to the project. Today I'm going to present you kind of what their claims are, and then I'm going to present the facts along with it. And so that's really the main point of today's project update. And so the first claim, if you had visited their website, is they're saying that we're going to increase traffic and congestion in the area. When in reality, our position is that this project is actually going to reduce the density that we have on campus. And I'm going to share the reason that I say that. We're going to have 54 fewer apartments on this campus at the conclusion of our project compared to what we have on campus today. So the number of apartments are going down. Yes, we're adding more independent living, we're adding more assisted living, but there's a significant decrease in the number of skilled nursing apartments that we have. And so, I'm sorry?
What are the total number of residents?
The total numbers that we're going to, I can't see the notes here. I have the notes. It's something like 420 to 420 minus 54, so 366. That's a close estimate, not exact. And so less number of apartments on campus. But we're also going to have 71 fewer employee shifts per day than if we did not do this project. Now, I want to clarify, that does not mean that we are releasing or letting go of 71 people. That is, if we did not do what we're doing today in anticipation of where we're going with this project, we would have to be staffing more than we staff today, okay? And so what I'm saying is if we just continue to operate the way our campus exists today and we scale back up in long-term care and our rehab, that would give us 71 more staff members than what we're proposing with the new project. And there was a day where we operated over 70 rehab beds and 150 to 200 long-term care residents. Those numbers are less now in anticipation of where we're going. And so the bottom line, though, is that we anticipate having fewer cars coming on and off campus as a result of this project. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? The next argument that's being made is that we're going to remove hundreds of large trees, which is simply not true. In reality, this project, we're preserving the border that exists today, and actually we're going to be adding to it. And at the end of this project, we're going to have, I think it's 66 more trees on campus at the end of this project than we have today. Okay, so that's taken into account the trees that will be removed and the trees that we're going to put in the ground. It's 66 more trees than we have today. In addition to that, 0 of those trees are considered landmark trees. Landmark trees, as Town and Country's definition, has to do with the size of the tree. The point I'm trying to make is the trees that we're removing are trees that the majority of those trees are trees we've added in the last few years. And so if you look outside the community center entrance right below us, the hill that looks up at the ridge. Most of those trees that are on that hill slope, those are the ones that I'm talking about will come out. Most of those are not mature trees. Those are trees we've added since we've had this property. And so the fact that the statement that we're removing hundreds of large trees is just inaccurate. I thought I had it up here, but, oh yeah, it's the last one. Only 5 of the trees that are gonna come out in this project are a 10-inch caliper or greater. Okay, so we're talking about a very few number of trees that I would even consider mature trees. So, does that make sense? Any questions on that, Barb?
One of the things about the trees going up the hill is most of those are ash trees, which would need to come out anyway because of the ash borer.
Yeah, you're right about that. The point Barb was making is that a lot of the ash trees would have to come out anyway because of the ash beetle or...
The ash borer.
Yeah. But so the next slide that I have here, I know you can't see it, but I took this actually from the website that was put up. And what the website is stating is you can see here, it's making the point, removal of mature woodlands is the statement that's being made. And here at the bottom it says trees being removed are marked in red. That's not true. These trees that are in red here, this is our drawing that when the neighbors started this discussion with us, we did a survey of all the trees there, and all the mature ones are what's highlighted in red. Those are not trees that are being removed. Those are the number of mature trees between us and our neighbors to the south. Does that make sense? But it's being misrepresented on that website. So if you look at it, you'd think we're removing all these red dots down here, and that is not the case. Let's see. The other statement that's being made is that we're attempting to transition to an apartment complex. And so I think the implication is that somehow maybe we're getting out of senior living. And the reality is that we're a life plan community today. And when we say life plan community, that means we're offering independent living, assisted living, and care center to our residents. At the conclusion of this project, we're going to offer independent living, assisted living memory care, and long-term care to residents. So there is, I'm not sure, necessarily where this comes from, but there is no intention to change our business. And so the facts here, we